Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Emmy the Cat Lady, and you join me back here in Fallout 4. We are visiting Hallucigen today. So, Hallucigen Inc. is a pre-war company that made biochemicals and wanted to be the world leader in non-lethal tech for use by the police and the military. Very interesting location. So, we're kind of here. Where are we? Yeah, so not too far from Boston Common, and Diamond City's over here, and we're near the Charlesview Amphitheatre. So there are a couple of quests that will send you to this location. One being Fred Allen and Goodneighbor asks you to come here so that he can invent some new chems. And I think you can get sent here by some of the Radiant quests as well. But very interesting location. And the truth about their technology is quite different from what's advertised, which we will discover as we go through this location. So we'll see some of the questionable things that have been going on. When you first come here in the game, what you find is that there's a bunch of gunners, but the gunners are fighting each other. Yeah, so you can kind of see there's clearly been a bit of a problem here recently because there's a nice green haze everywhere. So when you get here, the gunners, they're fighting each other, so they've gone into a bit of a frenzy. And they are attacking, so they managed to trigger this chemical leak that made them all go a little bit mad. The building itself is a bit of a wreck, but there's a few things that we can discover which are very...
Evacuate the building.
Yeah, there's an automatic evacuation announcement, but even just coming here to reception, we can find a few interesting things. So first we've got this help wanted notice at reception. So Hallucigen Inc. is seeking research subjects to assist in the ongoing testing of non-lethal police and military technology. Whether you're considering a career in high-tech research or just in need of some extra cash, this exciting opportunity may be for you. Great pay, flexible hours, no long-term commitment, and no experience necessary. To apply, visit our main office in historic Back Bay. So yeah, they were advertising for research subjects to take part in some tests.
Please evacuate the building.
And then if we look, yeah, there's a few of these. So we've got some cartons of water that are drugged. So yeah, we've got HP and RADs, but -1 perception. So kind of seems like there might be a little bit of a sedative. So it wasn't gunners that left that here, because we can have a look at the receptionist's terminal and we can see what was going on. So yeah, there's an emergency alert that there's a chemical leak, so everybody's supposed to evacuate. We've got the test subject intake, so this is the standard operating procedure thing. So we need to request ID and cross-check with the day's test schedule, verbally confirm that the visitor is a test subject and not a client, offer refreshments, instruct subjects to fill out intake forms 12A through 12H. This should allow sufficient time for the sedatives in the water to take effect. Notify the appropriate lab personnel, and then, when instructed, complete Form 12I, dismissal, 12J, accident report, or 12K, fatal accident report. So, yeah, don't really... You've got some interesting paperwork going on here. And then there's also a procedure for chemical emergencies. So, in the unlikely event of a major chemical leak, executive staff should evacuate immediately. Science staff should terminate any ongoing experiments. If test subjects are present, the lab manager shall determine whether to lock down the test chambers or evacuate them. Clerical staff should escort executives to safety, then evacuate. Due to Hallucigen's in-building air recycling system, chemical agents may take days or weeks to disperse naturally. Do not attempt to re-enter the building until cleared to do so. So that's what they were supposed to do in the event of a chemical leak. But the gunners clearly didn't read that because they stayed and ended up in a bit of bother. So we can kind of head downstairs And we can take a look around. So we've got this kind of locker room set up, some showers, bathroom, then we can make our way through here. Technical document, sure.
A chemical leak has been detected. Please
Yep, more dead
evacuate the
gunners.
building.
But yeah, we can get back up here. Yep, more gunners. And we can kind of make our way through the facility. There's the Charles View Amphitheatre there. We've got this research terminal. So yeah, current prototype. Suppressor, electrical output, non-lethal target suppression via electrical discharge.
A chemical leak has been detected.
We've got,
please evacuate the building.
Yeah, we've got some lab reports of the hallucigen gas, which is what you're here for if you're doing the quest for Fred Allen. So, delivery vehicle of Type 2 fragmentation grenade. 2 out of 5 injured by grenade explosion, 1 seriously. 5 out of 5 suffered traumatic adrenal gland rupture due to gas exposure, resulting in hallucinations, erratic behaviour, increased aggression, i.e. frenzy. 4 out of 5 killed in ensuing melee, and then 1 out of 5 died due to heart failure. So, similar to previous tests, at the concentrations required for wide area dispersal, massive adrenaline surges occur. Recommend revising the chemical substrate. So, they're testing out this gas that's supposed to kind of suppress people, but it's causing adrenal rupture and it's causing surge of adrenaline, which is then leading to frenzy and also death, which isn't ideal for a non-lethal weapon. Causing death is kind of the opposite of what you want to achieve. Then we've got the Eradicator, delivered through ventilators. So 49 out of 50 biochemical contaminants neutralised. 3 out of 3 test subjects suffered lethal doses of radiation, so test chamber heavily irradiated, all panels and insulation replaced. Consider reclassifying for lethal weapons research. Eradicator power supply requires further development. Current 2-ton weight, unsuitable for field deployment. So this is supposed to be something to decontaminate in the field using radiation, but it's also, again, killing people. Again, it's the goal is non-lethal, and unfortunately what they're creating is very much lethal. I wonder how we get in over there. I guess I have to go round. So it's a bit of a maze, this building, because of, there's an awful lot of collapsed floors and things. What's that? Weapons workbench. But yeah, we do have a Tesla Science here, which I apparently didn't pick up the last time I was here, so it's good to know that I've got that in my hands now. Yeah, we've got another lab room in here. Oh, got some. Didn't need to pick up that, but ammo's always nice. Okay. I see. Yep, strip wire here.
Please evacuate the building.
I will eventually. I'm just exploring. But yeah, so again, we've got more gunners. They've obviously set themselves up with some traps and stuff to keep them safe. We've got some protectrons. It's a security terminal. Not sure what this does.
Sweet.
That's just to activate the Protectron. That's fine. So yeah, that's one option for dealing with all the angry gunners, is that you can come in and set the Protectron on them.
Please evacuate the building.
And then, yep, we've got some more gunners, His head's kind of stuck through the table, which is impressive. Sure. Where does this take us? Oh yeah, we've got a wee bit of the balcony that's overlooking the... Ooh, lots of ammo. Overlooking reception. Yeah, then we've got this office. I think this is the accounting office, which is precisely what I was looking for. Yep, that's exactly what I was looking for. So here we are.
Has been detected. Please evacuate
The accounting terminal. So first of all, there's a note from Eric, whoever Eric is. Look, Paul, it's all I can do to keep the feds from weaseling out of their contracts. Damien and his boys in R&D put on a good show, but they can't find their asses with both hands. The last thing I need right now is for you to spook the investors. Don't give me any more of this crap. You know every trick in the book. Make our financials for this quarter shine. I don't care how, just do it. So basically telling the accountant manager or the accountant to make sure that the money looks good no matter what. Which isn't entirely honest. So draft 1 of the third quarter financials, let's have a look. Not for public release. Net operating loss of $1.8 billion for the third quarter. Hallucigen, now in its third year of operation, aspires to be the world leader in cutting-edge non-lethal technology for police and military use. Hallucigen President and CEO Eric Rice, so that note was from the CEO, stated, "This has been a difficult quarter with significant delays in several major product lines. Nonetheless, we remain optimistic about the potential of our research and hope to achieve a positive cash flow within the next 2 years." So clearly, the CEO was not happy about that, so we have draft 2. So Hallucigen Inc. is pleased to report third quarter revenue of $1.1 billion. Hallucigen, now in its third year of operations, aspires to be the world leader in cutting-edge non-lethal technology for police and military use. Hallucigen President and CEO Eric Rice stated, "Our long-term contracts have provided us with a strong financial foundation. In the current global political climate, we expect a tremendous demand for our products in the months and years ahead." So even with the positive sounding version, it does kind of sound like we're wanting to spin it as, yeah, like, everything's terrible right now, so we're going to cash in on the fact that there's a lot of tension and potential war brewing and stuff, because that's fine. You know, it's just, yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. Probably want to go through this way. What's that, just bathrooms? Yep. Here we go. So yeah, this actually brings us into where some of the test chambers and things were. So you can open all these rooms individually. Some of them have gunners in them, some of them have other stuff in them. Test chamber terminal, I don't know what this does. Data corruption. Yeah, so the test room terminals don't have any actual data on them. That's where we want to go. Yeah, got more drugged water. So yeah, they were taking these people in to be test subjects and sedating them so that they could put them into these test chambers. Yeah, I think we can get up. So they have kind of glass ceilings on them so that you can see through from above. And if we make our way up here, yeah, we can see the observation room. So this is where they could bring their VIPs, potential investors, potential customers.
The building.
I don't know if these...
Hallucigen's dispersant is ideal for peacefully clearing an area of civilians. Hallucigen is not responsible for any damage, injury, or loss of life sustained in mass panics that may or may not result from the use of dispersant.
Oh, and then we've got this one.
Hallucigen gas. Reliable crowd control since 2055. Hallucigen gas can stop a riot faster than any other product on the market, and without the messy side effects of our competitors' offerings. Use with caution. Unpredictable sensory experiences may result. Subjects exposed to high dosages may suffer catastrophic adrenal failure.
Catastrophic adrenal failure sounds very non-lethal to me.
A chemical leak has been detected. Please evacuate the building.
Criminal scum? Don't get a gun. Try Hallucigen Suppressor, a safe, reliable, and effective way to paralyze even armored targets. Side effects may include the partial and/or complete paralysis of the user, bystanders, small animals, and/or large animals. Discretion is advised.
Yep.
Invisawave from Hallucigen is a new advance in the field of stealth technology, capable of doing away with cumbersome personal generators forever. Some subjects may become inaudible and/or intangible. Effects may be permanent. Further research is ongoing.
Yeah, so their answer to the stealth boy that may make you intangible, which is kind of impressive, actually.
Hallucigen's Eradicator provides your forces with a state-of-the-art field decontamination solution.
Evacuate the building.
Small amounts of residual radiation may persist in the affected area. Dosage subject to change pending safety evaluations.
Yeah, so we've got this fun little diorama here where we can see demonstrations of all the products, and then we've got this observation terminal. Which is pretty interesting. So the observation lab. This is the standard operating procedure for the VIPs that are coming to see these demonstrations. So we greet them, obviously, introduce Hallucigen and relevant products, activate the automated demonstration system, observe automated demonstration. When malfunctions occur, trigger a different demonstration to switch focus. In the event of a catastrophic failure or immediately following tests of the Eradicator, escort VIPs to the conference room for a marketing presentation. Clear labs of test subjects' blood fluids. After a test of the Eradicator, notify facilities to replace the test chamber. So yeah, they were obviously running a process where it's like have to sneak people out so they don't actually see what's going on. It's very clever. Now, is this stairwell that we're looking for? I think it might be. Oh! Yeah, I think this is the one we're looking for.
Repeat. A chemical leak has been detected. Please evacuate the building immediately.
Yep, this is what I was looking for. Oh, hello. Sorry about that, but not supposed to be here. Yeah, this is the CEO's office and the CEO's terminal, which is master locked. So yeah, this is the CEO's office, master locked, but I'm pretty sure you can find a key. You can also later on acquire the master password. I've already been through this place, which is why I've already got it, but we'll get to that. So we can have a look at the CEO's terminal, which is quite interesting. So yeah, we can open the safe there, and appointment calendar for the 25th of October 2077, which is a day that probably none of this actually happened because the bombs fell on the 23rd. So 9 AM, senior staff briefing, 10:30, review third quarter financials with Paul. 11 o'clock, lunch with Damien, which is very early for lunch. 12:30, human subjects protocol review with Dr. Everill, ethics review board. Offer water, ? Are we offering drugged water to these people? Great VIP, Colonel Thomas Nelson, US Army, Scythe, I'm not sure what that stands for. And then at 2:30 p.m, review slides for procurement conference, and 4 p.m, post-demo sales meeting with Colonel Nelson. So, yeah, he had a pretty busy schedule, but none of it ever happened, unfortunately, so, well. Right. We now head down these stairs, past more dead gunners, because the basement is where all the lab stuff actually is, and all the interesting things that have been going on in this place. So is this just a storage cupboard? Yeah. Yeah. So here we are in the lab. We can get access to that. Yep. The gas does actually damage you unless you're wearing a hazmat suit, or you activate the decontamination, which I haven't been able to do. I think this terminal does it, yeah. Okay. Yep, that solves it. And it also means that you now have free radiation removal forever. At least that's what's supposed to happen. But yeah, you can see the gunners are just everywhere. Mainframe access terminal. That's how you get access to the master password that I've got.
Please evacuate the building.
Yeah, we've got the proper lab going on here, so this is obviously where they've spent an awful lot of time developing all their stuff. We've got chemistry stations times like 4, I think. Yeah. Got the hallucigen gas canister, so these are the ones that you're looking for what's his face and good neighbour Fred Allen, but you also can collect them to make the hallucigen gas grenades, which are a crafting. In fact, should be able to. Oh no, I don't have the recipe for that, but yeah, you can use the hallucigen gas for that. We've got quantum, and yeah, more dead gunners. But the interesting thing, for me anyway, is what's on this terminal, the development lab terminal. This is highly entertaining to read. So we've got some test results for all these different products. Let's start with the suppressor. So the suppressor was the one that caused paralysis. That was supposed to be a non-lethal way of controlling the crowd. And this is really quite an interesting one, actually. So, subject successfully incapacitated. Paralysis appears to be permanent. Transferred to Medford Memorial for monitoring. So they actually had to send these test subjects to hospital because the paralysis didn't wear off. And then the manager was like, "You were the lead engineer on the damn mesmetron, and you can't even get crowd pacification right with one of your own prototypes to reverse engineer. What did they mess you on the way out? You're the highest paid researcher here. I expected better." So whoever was kind of in charge of this product had actually worked on the mesmetron, which is, if you remember, was a sort of unique weapon that you could acquire in Fallout 3 that let you sort of incapacitate people to enslave them for Paradise Falls. And that item was made by a company called Implied Hypnotics. That's what we know about it. But that company were actually supposed to be, I'll show you, I'll get the map. They were actually supposed to be included in this game, Implied Hypnotics. So there's a very early version of the Fallout 4 map that you can see. It's on the wiki. You can see it where they've been marking out where things are. And it was supposed to be actually about, where's Faneuil Hall? Here, isn't it? Good neighbour, yeah. Yeah. So it was actually supposed to be somewhere around about here, Implied Hypnotics, and that was the people that made the Mesmatron. So it does kind of make me wonder if at one point they actually intended to include the Mesmatron in Fallout 4 as well, and then decided against it. But yeah, very, very interesting that, that's been name dropped in this, which is quite funny. And then we've got the hallucigen gas. So despite a new formulation, the gas still caused traumatic adrenal gland rupture and frenzy in 4 out of 5 subjects. That's 80%. One survived initial exposure and began to acclaim it before being beaten to death by the other subjects. So we're going to adjust dosage and retest. At least this is making progress. If marketing would just position this as a military-grade chemical weapon, we'd be done here. Would make a good grenade or artillery shell, which is what you can actually do with it in the game. Then we've got the dispersant, which is supposed to be calming people down essentially in the event of a riot. And remember, there was a lot of that kind of unrest going on in the pre-war world. We see it a few times where people are protesting the fact that robots are taking all their jobs, protesting the ongoing war, protesting, all these things, which is interesting. So that was the idea behind this product, was to kind of calm that down before they did turn into riots. So the subject survived the test, which is a good start for a non-lethal weapon, but failed to recover from the treatment, ran screaming at the sight of their own child in the waiting room, police still in pursuit. So 2 days later, apprehended, subject institutionalized, which is great. it's hilarious, actually. These are so silly, but yeah, didn't work. So the comment from, I'm guessing this is like the manager, the development manager or something. Dispersant is supposed to stop riots, not start them. This entire line of research is a joke. I'm transferring the project to Karen. Send her your files and destroy your samples, then clean out your desk. So yeah, this disaster got somebody fired, basically. As it should. And then we've got the eradicator. So all biological and chemical contaminants destroyed. Subject in test chamber received 5,100 rad radiation. Remember, the lethal dose is 1,000. Observers left the viewing room before subject's skin disintegrated. Test chamber stripped and reconstructed. It's terrible. So you built a 2-ton machine that irradiates people. What part of handheld field decontaminator did you not understand? Points for getting the VIPs out before things got messy, though. So yeah, the fact that they managed to hustle the VIPs out before the subject's skin disintegrated is something. Yeah. And then my favourite one, the Invisawave. So this is supposed to be like a better version of like a stealth boy. So let's see. Third test, complete success. Admiral was impressed, inquired about shipboard installations. Then the comment, your Invisawave is 5 mirrors, 2 hacked stealth boys and a trapdoor. Makes for a splashy demo, but you really crossed the line this time. Sales wants 200 units by December. Good luck with that. So the whole thing is completely fake. And also involves stealth boys and mirrors and a trapdoor. So yeah, it's basically a magician's trick with extra steps. But it looked good enough in the demo that now an admiral for the Navy wants it, and they they want to sell 200 of these, even though they don't actually have a functioning product. They've just managed to make a really good magic trick. So that would have gone not very well for this company had the world not ended shortly after all of that happened. Yeah.
Please evacuate the building.
It's really, really quite funny to read all those, I think, and just this is the kind of stuff that I absolutely love in these games, is just finding all these stories. You've got all these companies that have been doing questionable things, and you're kind of uncovering the secret a long time after. And then yeah, we can find our way out here. So usually the gunner commander is in here somewhere. That's her, yeah. So yeah, the gunner commander's here, and they have a key, and they have like I think they have the master password, and then we can go through this hole in the wall, and we've got our steamer trunk, the usual, and then there's an alternative way in and out. Oh yeah, there's the Charles View Amphitheatre there, so we kind of ended up coming out the back of the building. But yeah, Hallucigen, definitely a very interesting company that were up to all kinds of shenanigans. They had all these products that were definitely not ready to be sold, and really epitomise the fake it till you make it kind of thing. But yeah, very interesting connection, and obviously the gunners wanted to see if there was any useful technology in here. That was one of the reasons that they were trying to kind of get a foothold here. There is a building nearby, I think, that you can find, and they set it up as like a little forward base. Is it here? It might be here. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just this random little unmarked house, and we've got, yeah, the mission brief. So for the client, it's classified target hallucigen, mission reconnaissance, objectives to secure a forward operating base for the hallucigen raid, perform initial recon of facility exterior, identify and neutralise potential threats, and then await contact from the raid team. So these guys were here to kind of watch the place, scout it out and everything, and prepare. Guessing somebody got injured and they tried to treat him, and it didn't really work very well. So that they could set up. What is that? What is causing that red glow? Yeah, so we've got some army fatigues and stuff, and somebody's left a stash of caps. Nice. Yeah, so they must have set this place up as a base to do some recon of Hallucigen, and then obviously weren't quite prepared for the gas outbreak that was triggered when they went into Hallucigen, and that ended up not going very well for the gunners, unfortunately. But yeah, I say Hallucigen is one of these locations I've been looking forward to covering it, because it's a very, very interesting one. It's also one of the few places I've seen where you get this like sunlight coming through the window. It's quite dramatic lighting going on in here. But yeah, very interesting company, and I say I do always enjoy it when you can dig through the terminals and find out the kind of nonsense that some of these companies were up to before the war. I always find that quite interesting and entertaining. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little run through as well. And yeah, I say if you do know of any locations that I haven't covered already that you'd like to see, or anything that you've discovered, do let me know in the comments or on the community tab, because I always love to check out these places. So thanks for watching. We'll be back on Saturday with the next survival mode. We're going to go clear out Sunshine Tidings and sort of set things up a little bit with our settlements, I think, before we kind of start making our way down towards getting closer to Diamond City. and then it'll be time to go and rescue Nick Valentine. Maybe get the plot moving along a little bit. We shall see. And at the end of the month, we're on track, so I'm going to take a real deep dive into the combat and how combat's evolved over the course of the games as they've been released, and kind of comparing and talking about them. So I'm aiming to have that ready by the end of this month, so watch this space. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.